Are you ready?
I am ready.
I don't know about that pause. Making me nervous. John Peckman Podcast. Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Sorry. Come over the bridge. Go through one set of lights. Or if you're our guest today, you don't even do the bridge. Come from Glastonbury. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell. Get alerts. Tell your friends. Have your own podcast here. Anyone could do this. Dave will tell you how. I'm here with guest drummer today, Paul Pedro. Right?
Great to be here.
Amen. Yeah. Well, I don't want to say local because I don't know, but drummer from local. Around the scene.
Yes. Yeah. Southington native. So.
Hey, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Southington. Yeah. Tell us what you're doing lately that we would know you from, and we'll go from there.
Let's see. I am doing a tribute to Foo Fighters.
Called?
A tribute to Foo Fighters.
Okay. Right.
I know. I get a lot of heat for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you're not gonna.
That's what we decided on. Make it simple.
Sure.
Everybody knows what it is.
Right. Yeah.
No song name to where you could get confused.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm doing Rock This Town Orchestra, which is a tribute to Brian Setzer Orchestra.
Cool.
And then I have an acoustic band called Blind Drive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you're playing a fair amount.
Fair amount.
Yeah.
Enough. It used to be a lot more busy.
Before COVID?
Before, yeah, especially. And then back when I was doing the zoo, that was, 8 to 10, 12 shows a month, whatever it was. Kind of enjoying just, kind of going out to see my friends play.
Yeah, right.
And getting to see other people, discovering new bands, and
instead of
like
playing every single weekend.
Yeah, every weekend. So
yep,
I'm digging it.
Cool. That's cool. Who's in you want to give shout outs to the band members at all, or do you not care?
If I remember them all, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no.
Well, Foo Fighters tribute. How did that happen?
Yeah. So I messaged Josh Enemies, our lead singer.
Okay.
And Alan and Bezak's the guitar player. Me and Alan have been playing bands forever. And so I just messaged Josh and, are you into Foo Fighters? And he looked, he answered me like I was crazy because I guess he had a Foo tribute and I didn't notice it on Facebook. And so he's like, yeah, of course. So we just put something together, and Matt Forcier is on bass, Mark Brunetti's on guitar, and we just all got together, jammed, and just hit it off.
How long ago was that?
2 years ago, like during COVID.
Oh,
during
okay.
COVID, yeah.
So you just said the time is right.
Yeah.
And Taylor was alive.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was,
Whoa.
That was a crazy night when I found that out.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, me too. How did you go about the, I would love to see the set list. How did you, is there any, you don't concentrate on, I mean, obviously you're not going to do the cellos, or whatever.
We're thinking of adding keys.
Yeah, right.
So we're thinking about doing that.
Yeah, why not?
Yep.
But just every album.
Yep, the hits, and we try to pull live versions, so we'll pull some stuff, from the live shows, endings, just certain little things to make it interesting.
My hero ending. My band used to do that too when you get to the ending.
Yep. Oh, that's a wicked ending.
Yeah. Killer.
That's a wicked ending, yeah.
Yeah, I remember I was the same way with my band. I was like, check this out. We got to do this ending, though.
Yep.
It's killer. Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's really cool.
Is there any... Do you guys all like the same tunes? Like, because there's a lot of Foo Fighters.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, you guys ever like, no, I hate that one? Or
Well, I'm going to put the band on the spot because I've, been asking to add rope. So that's what what I'm pushing for. So we rehearsed it a couple times, and that's going to be the next one. So yeah, definitely rope.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that tune. What is, in your opinion, I'm a Foo Fighters fan. What's a deep cut? What's a sleeper? One of your favorite? I have a couple that nobody ever mentions that I love.
I like the one that Taylor. I'm so bad with song names. The one that Taylor sings. Oh my God, what is that one called?
With McCartney on drums?
Nope.
Because that's a great
it was the first. It was a while back.
What, Cold Day in the Sun?
Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
That's my tune.
Yeah, yeah.
And the video is great too from the Unplugged.
Yeah, yeah,
When they
yeah.
did Unplugged.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's my favorite version of it too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And I think they did that at Wembley too.
Oh yeah.
That
yeah.
had to be incredible.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Oh.
No, I can't. I can't imagine that. I love one of my favorites that nobody knows is "Burn Away" on One by One. Do you know that one?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I love that one. Nobody knows that one. Junior does. Me, you, and Junior.
Yes,
and,
I definitely
and them,
know that one.
And Foo Fighters. That's it. And they probably don't even remember that one. Yeah, killer. And you guys just played. You played at Crystal Bees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was it? Good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, great time. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll probably do another one there in the fall.
Yeah.
We have a big Memorial Day event coming up on May 27th.
Okay.
That's at Skyline Brewery.
Okay.
Up in Westfield. So yeah, it's gonna be the Atlantis tribute, along with Queens of the Stone Age tribute as well.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that'll be a good one.
Far out.
Pushing that one. So
Yeah. Well, no, this will be out long before then, so that's cool. What about the Brian Setzer thing?
Yeah, that's an interesting band.
Yeah.
So it was a really cool opportunity. Anthony Bambino leads up that band. So we were in the zoo together.
Okay.
And he was starting that band. It was kind of in its infancy, and
This would be when?
Approximately like about 5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, a good 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And it just came to a point where his drummer and bass player were leaving, and he's like, I want you on board. I'm like, he left the zoo. And then, he's like, let's do this. I'm like, I'm down.
Yeah.
So
are you into
see, I like Setzer, but I never really got into him until I started listening. Actually, I saw Anthony's band play, and I just became an instant fan of the music.
Oh, that's cool. That's always nice.
So yeah, it was
when
really
doing
cool.
something that you actually did.
Yeah. And so yeah, just rehearsed a few times, and bam, we got going. So
how many people in that band?
Usually it's like 8 to 10. It depends. Wow. Like the Christmas show, there's 10.
Yeah, crazy.
So we have 5 horns, 2 backup singers, drums, bass, and lead guitar.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's kind of heavy.
It's pretty interesting, and I love the Christmas shows. Those are the best.
Yeah, right. I bet.
Those are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the drumming is super challenging.
Yeah.
And it's like the Christmas stuff is more challenging than the standard.
Is that right?
Yeah.
In what way?
More horn hits.
Oh, okay.
Just a lot more busy as compared to the standard stuff.
Right, so you can't just kind of groove. You got it's like a chart.
No, tons of horn hits, and so I don't chart. I just listen to the hell out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to it in July.
Yeah, right.
Before driving in my car to a coffee shop in the morning, listening to like Christmas music.
Yeah, right.
You know
What's
what I'm
up
saying,
with that dude? Yeah,
that's all. I can't. I've never been a chart guy.
Okay,
and I always thought too, especially in that band, you want to look like you're having a good time, the energy.
Gotcha.
You got a big band like that.
So you don't want to be reading.
I don't want to be reading anything, be worried about it.
That's great.
So it's just like, get it in your head and, air drum in your car.
Sure. It's got to take a lot of concentration to play left-handed all wrong too. Of course, I'm kidding. But yeah, lefty drummer.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you teach yourself. I didn't have a teacher to tell me otherwise. So.
Well, yeah, but it's not wrong. I mean,
true.
Whatever. I mean, I play wrong. I play left-handed right foot, like completely wrong. So you're playing right. It's just flip. Like, so what?
Well, I was watching TV and it made sense.
Right.
Watching a righty drummer.
Yeah. Are you a left-handed
it.
person?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
so what?
It's kind of all over the map.
Yeah.
Like right lefty, but sports, it's all over the place.
Yeah, me too.
Baseball righty, football lefty, hockey righty.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah.
Disaster.
Yeah.
Complete disaster.
Yeah, well, that's all right. It happens. Well, that's cool. All right, you told us when the next Brian Setzer gig is.
No, the Setzer. See, he's my band. My band leader is going to be mad at me. It's sometime in May, but we're like 6 hours away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's out in Pennsylvania somewhere. But the Christmas shows to note would be Daryl's House, which is on the 2nd and 3rd.
Cool.
And people could go to the website now and buy the tickets, and it usually sells out months in advance. So,
and it's called?
So Daryl's house?
No,
Or
the
the band Rock This Town Orchestra.
Gotcha.
Yep.
That's cool.
So it's December 2nd and 3rd.
Hey,
But yeah,
that's a big one.
I buy a bunch of tickets for my family because I know it sells out.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's
And it's just such a special show. I love that venue.
yeah. I never played there when it was Daryl's.
It's
Like,
it's
it was
a unique
the town
venue.
crier way
Oh, no
back in the
way.
day. Yeah, I
I
think
didn't
so.
even know the history of it.
Yeah. I played it before it was that. It
Wow.
was a stop on the way. Way
Very cool.
way back in the day.
What band was that?
I think that probably would have been the K-Man Band, which was the late '80s, and then I don't know. It depends on how far out you want to get. I think I played there with Peter Tork. I played there with. There was this woman called Judy Henske. You probably don't know who any of these people are. Judy Henske was like a folk singer.
Yep.
And her husband, Craig Durgy, was the keyboard player. Anyway, I played there with them over the years. I don't think it was Daryl's house yet. Anyway. Yeah, but yeah, I know the place, but I haven't played there in years. So
Very cool.
yeah,
I know
that's
the history of it.
yeah, it's been around for a while. So how did you get started in music in the first place? Like, how did it all happen?
So 4th grade, there was a sheet, sign up for what instrument you want to play.
Yeah.
I picked guitar, and they said, we don't have guitar. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
right.
all right, drums. And it definitely was the right choice because I tried to play guitar in college and failed
really?
miserably. It just was not for me.
Well.
But yeah, started in 4th grade.
In Southington.
Yep, Southington. Got my first drum set 8th or 9th grade.
Okay.
Did the paper route thing.
Yeah.
Went to the music shop in Southington.
Yep.
Picked up the Ludwig rocker.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yep. Threw it in my dad's pickup. And back in the day, you could sit in the back of the pickup.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
I sat in the back of the pickup
Sure.
with the drums.
Yeah.
So it drove me home, and I remember that like it's
So funny.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's one of the memes. Back in the old days.
Oh,
you know what I
man,
mean? We
back in it, yeah.
drove in the pickup right in
Yep.
the back with the It's so funny.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's killer.
And I'm like worried about the drums getting scratched in the truck. No cases, Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
It
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then from there, just high school, like marching band was really where I started to kind of hone my craft.
Mm-hmm.
Southington had a pretty good
Oh,
marching band and, competing marching band. So that was definitely a big part of, just kind of tightening everything up.
Yeah. Different things.
And then,
so you learned how to read.
Yeah, throughout that time.
Throughout the time, yeah.
Yep. And just playing in, concert band, jazz band,
Yep.
and,
Yep.
listening to Rush.
Mhm.
That's another
Yeah. Sure.
another subject. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we'll
So
do
that
it
was
all.
that was the big thing
Yeah.
during high school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
And I know your history with Rush. You said
It's
I think
complicated.
yeah, the keyboards lost you, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Not necessarily. I guess we're gonna have this conversation. No, I was. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, Rush got big for me. Like, moving pictures was big when I was in high school, and I just I didn't dig it that much, but I dug it enough because there was nobody at that time that was allowing us to hear the full range of what a drum kit could do, which was kind of cool. It was like, oh, okay, there's all these sounds. What is everything? And I mean, apart from the playing, but that's what I thought was cool because it was just so many things. And then I kind of got into them and I went backwards from there. And I'm like old school. I like Fly By Night.
Oh, definitely.
I like Caress of Steel. All the World's a Stage that's my favorite live album. I just like when they're a rock band with a little bit of something extra. And I liked Farewell to Kings. I liked keyboards. I like when they're the most prog. But when Permanent Waves came, I was like, nope. Like when I went backwards, I was like, oh no. And then once I got caught up, then the next album was Signals, and I was like, no, man, because I already like the Police. I don't need this. And I just didn't need it. I didn't need it.
Yep.
At that time, I moved on to other things, but Hemispheres is still that's my favorite. Like when they're at their most prog, that's the one I like.
Wow.
So-
yeah, my history is completely opposite.
Really?
Yeah, and I think it's just the difference of, maybe our age, like the
Yeah,
difference
yeah.
of what,
Yeah, I'm like 10 years older than you.
10 years?
So,
Okay, yeah. So I discovered them with the video Roll the Bones on MTV.
Right.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
was
Like
so far
completely
gone.
different.
Yeah.
But then I went back and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, even Working Man. I mean, all
Yeah,
that
sure.
stuff, like,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And so I loved all their stuff. But yeah, that was my first concert.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
With Primus
Oh, wow.
at
Yeah,
New
it
Haven
must be heavy.
Coliseum. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wish I still had the T-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, that was prime time.
Yeah,
you're right
definitely,
in it.
man.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I mean, I guess that's the thing about a band like that was around that long. It's really whatever. How do I put it? You just pick whatever Rush you like because they changed so much and always continued to.
Yeah, definitely evolved.
Yeah, which is cool. I can't. There might be things that I prefer over other things, but you can't not. They couldn't have been, Hemisphere's Rush forever.
Yeah,
They because it seems like everything they did did it to death. Like they turned it completely upside down till there was nothing left, and then moved on to the next thing. I can't knock that. It doesn't matter if I don't particularly prefer what they moved on to. I mean,
yeah,
they blew it out. It's like that's cool.
I do like when bands evolve like that.
Yeah,
even if you don't like it, I respect it.
Right,
You know
that's
I mean?
what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and some bands I like the albums where they did evolve versus
Yeah.
yeah, there's plenty of examples of that, but yeah.
Yep, it's killer. Yeah. How did so I'm a Foo Fighters fan too. What was your first? How did you first get into them? Like, because I remember vividly my first.
Wow,
thing.
see, I don't. I'm such a scatterbrain with music, and it just depends on the time.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, but of course, I remember Everlong when Everlong hit. And but honestly, my favorite record they ever did was Wasting Light.
Oh, nice.
And that's that's more
yeah.
recent.
Yeah, sure.
And I actually got into them more once that record hit.
Gotcha.
And I don't think if that record hit, I don't know if I'd be like, hey, do you want to be in a Foo Fighters tribute? And it's funny that we don't really play stuff from that, but I just fell in love with that record.
Yeah.
It's just such a cool.
That's
an
Rope.
example
That's Rope,
of,
right? Rope is
Rope.
yeah.
And I think that's a great example of a band evolving a bit too.
Yeah.
They evolved on that record.
Yeah, I think so.
So
yeah, I remember when I heard Rope came out first, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're doing something different.
And Taylor kind of had an ode to Pierre.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
No, I was into it.
It was such a good record.
Yeah. Yep. Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Killer. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I had questions. Now we're both like you. I'm just trying to think.
Well, I mean, I'll mention another record too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you like this band or not, the Deftones.
I don't know.
But yeah, Deftones. They're kind of a heavy new metal band.
Yeah.
But they had this record, Diamond Eyes.
Okay.
Incredible.
Oh yeah.
Just like totally, push the limits.
Yeah.
Of what they usually do.
Okay.
From a melodic standpoint too, and yeah.
Do most people think that? Is that their?
Actually, I get a lot of pushback from Deftones fans.
Oh, really?
They like the old school stuff.
Because it was a weird album? Or
honestly, if I did a Deftones tribute, I'd call it Diamond Eyes and just play that record.
Yeah, right.
Just to annoy people. Like the 90s Billy Joel tribute.
Right. Or it's like the Metallica Black Album. It's like you're
Yeah.
either going forward from here or you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, well, that's cool. That's what it's all about.
Definitely.
And I sometimes think about, I mean, I don't know, because I'm, really old, but I do laugh when I think about the golden age of what we would call classic rock, Led Zeppelin or Beatles or Queen. It's kind of like you got what you got. Like when they made a record, you were kind of like you were brand loyal. So you're like, Queen didn't have to make something that they thought you would like. They would just be like, yo, this is it. And also every song's a different style, and that's the way it is. And we were along for the ride. Like to me, I'm a big Zeppelin fan, but it's like, by the time they get to Houses of the Holy, it's like track 2 is a ballad. And that's what are you going to do about it? And you're just like, no, I'm in. You guys do. You tell me what you think I should be hearing, and that's it.
I love Zeppelin. It's so strange though how I kind of discovered them. It was more college because I was so into Rush in high school, you know, and I didn't really pay attention to Zeppelin. I did, Police.
Yeah, I came to Zeppelin later, but
in college, but it was just box sets. Like I basically bought the box sets and just listened to everything.
Yeah.
So it's funny because I don't have much background on the actual album.
Right.
You know, I don't have a favorite album. I've just literally just listened to the box set.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Man, whatever gets you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember they had the box set that came out in the 90s, which was cool. And then they had another box set that was everything that wasn't on that. It was almost like the reverse of, they had all the tracks that weren't on. So like if you put them together, you could actually, anyway, it's funny. Yeah.
I didn't get that one.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
No, you don't need it. You're good. Yeah, you're all good. Yeah, the Rain song was track 2 on Houses of the Holy. So it was just kind of like, here's a ballad on the second track. Tough. That's the way it goes.
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
That's it.
Yeah, bands could just you could evolve like you're saying, you could take a chance like that.
Yeah.
And I guess they knew at that point, they're like, maybe we'll lose somebody. Well, that's kind of
and
what
you'll
we're
gain
saying.
somebody though,
Right. Well, it's saying that's what Rush did too. They were like, we're going to go where we go. And some people are going to come, but maybe more people, some will go or whatever. But yeah, killer.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I guess.
And the Police. What about the Police, man?
Well,
that was my band.
I saw the Police twice. I saw them on Ghost in the Machine tour. All right, you ready for this? So, yeah, I loved it all made sense.
Yeah.
I remember I heard Roxanne on my clock radio when I was getting ready to do my paper route. And I was like, I never heard anything like it. And got the single and liked it. Listened to the flip side, which was Dead End Job, was the flip side. And then forgot all about them. And then I heard, and I think MTV, no, Zenyatta Mandata, my brother-in-law had that. And I was like, whoa. Like, oh, okay, this is the way drums should be now. And then I was just all in. And then the next year, my sister and brother-in-law, who were cool, were like, hey, we're taking you to see the Police at, it was Ghost in the Machine tour. I think it was at New Haven. And it was just like I couldn't comprehend it. It was just so different from anything.
I just feel from the age gap, that 10 years, right?
Yeah.
I think I missed out on a lot because I was too young then to go.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
when I was 14,
yeah. See,
15.
when I was of age, it was hair metal. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's if I was going to go to a first concert. Well, I'm lucky I chose Rush.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure.
But what was your first record?
My first record?
Yeah. First album record you ever bought?
With my own money?
Yeah.
It probably Cheap Trick at Budokan, probably, if I had to think about it. I had records around the house from my parents or my sister, but that's probably the first one I was like, this is the record I want. That was awesome. A whole other story. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I was David Lee Roth, Eat 'em and Smile.
Oh, yeah. Killer.
At Caldor, I remember going with my brother.
Yeah.
Caldor in Southington.
Oh, yeah.
And he bought Bon Jovi Slippery When Wet.
Hey, man.
Hey.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, I was going to say Caldor, but then I thought maybe you would know. But I remember being a kid, you go to Caldor. They had a pretty good record
and the music
section.
shop after.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it was right there, yeah.
Yeah. But they had a pretty good, Caldor's had a pretty good record section, at least in Wallingford for the time. And it was like someone that actually worked in the section. You're like, oh, hey. And they had the chart, and you would order the single by number. You would say to the guy, hey, man, can I get 17? And he would, okay, get out of it. So that was killer.
Wow.
They actually.
Legit.
It was legit, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, the great thing about going to Caldor in Southington was the music shop was next door.
Oh.
And so I could go, look at the drum sets in the window and, all the...
In Southington.
Yeah,
oh,
right
I know what you're
Queen
talking
Street.
about. In the plaza.
It's where Walmart is now.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then so...
He's still there.
Music shop, so they moved.
Okay.
This is way back.
Oh, okay.
Way back in the 80s.
Yeah, I probably don't know.
Yeah, in the 80s, yeah. But yeah, they're still downtown.
He's in a
Shop's
plaza
still
now.
there in
Yeah.
a plaza, yep.
Yep.
Scott, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, cool.
It's
Cool.
history, man.
Yeah, no. Oh, definitely.
bringing me back here.
Yeah. So that was your thing. Go to Caldor's.
Yeah, man.
Get a soft
And then
pretzel on the way
and then
out.
go look at the drum sets. You know,
Yeah.
back then it was like the pearl maple. You know, $2,000 back then.
Yeah, never.
You know, it's crazy.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I saw the Police then, and I saw Synchronicity Tour. Yeah. Which was an event. It was like, and this was back in the day when you used to sleep out for tickets. I remember sleeping out all night to get tickets. You know, there was like one stereo shop in town that had a Ticketron, you know, so you would have to like sleep out all night to get to be, you know, 50th in line to get into the thing. And sleeping out was a whole experience, you know.
Oh yeah, that's part of it.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you old enough to
I understood it, and I remember because I was working a job at Dunkin' Donuts near Strawberries.
Yeah,
so,
right,
like,
right.
You
So,
know, and
yeah.
that when an album came
Yeah.
out,
Oh,
same stuff. You know,
It's so crazy. Can you imagine? We're talking like we're old.
but I do feel like, you know, social media comes, digital music, it kind of ruined a lot of that. Even for me, like
Yeah.
personally, like I remember back in the day, you go, you know, with CDs, you know, towards college. Of course, I started with tapes, but CDs and stuff. And I just remember, you know, throwing the CD in the car and being so excited.
Yeah.
And I think having that physical, I'm glad records are coming back, but
Yeah.
I think between the music and the art, it draws people more than just something digital, like just
I think so.
going on iTunes and downloading something. There's not as much excitement.
Yeah.
You know?
I
I
think
think it took away a little bit.
but it seems like at least some youngs. But see, so I don't know if I have said this on earlier shows, but I have this new theme in my mind that solves everything, and it's called both. That's my thing. I go, well, how about both?
Yeah.
Because there are a certain amount of kids. Like I remember, I was asking a teen that I was teaching that he was getting into vinyl, and I was like, why? You know, I'm just curious. Like, what is your deal? And realized that there maybe not for, I mean, because we had to acquire because that was the only way we could, so we did. But there's still an acquisition thing, because I would tell the kid, well, why don't you just download it? I'm just playing. And he's like, I don't know, there's something about, and I go, because you like to display them and you put them together and you like to, and he's like, yeah, there's something to it. So there is something to it. And
I think that goes with a lot of things. I mean, you know, snare drums.
right.
I don't need, you know, in my head, I know I don't need a bunch of different snare drums.
How many
I
do you
want
have?
them. They made me feel, you know, I think like 8.
Oh,
It's not that crazy, but I'm building, you know,
yeah.
I'm going to build my collection now. And, but yeah, really, really nice snare drums, but I don't need them. You can make one snare sound like really, you know,
You're looking at a person that this is my 30th pair of IEMs that I own. That's like my thing, you know, so everybody's got something.
yeah, we all have something.
But kids still, there is still something about the owning of the thing. It
Yeah.
doesn't maybe exist only because we didn't have a choice, but that still is a thing, you know, because like we thought, oh man, once CDs come in, there'll be absolutely no need for vinyl. And it's like, not really. I mean, it's still around, you know.
I really want a record player. Like I want to buy a really nice
Yeah.
record player.
Yeah.
And, you know, something that's good for life, a really nice piece.
Yeah.
And then, you know, just start a record collection again. Because I think it just takes you back to that feeling from when you were younger.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I started my mother told me I was like 2.5, 3 years old playing a record player.
Yeah. Right.
You
right.
know?
Sure.
And dancing around.
Yeah.
And, you know, Barry Manilow.
Yeah.
And, you know, stuff like that. So I think it just brings you back.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree. Yeah. I hung on to my vinyl the whole time. And so I had it. And then it's not
great.
about me at all. But
That's awesome.
built a stereo, you know, I kind of piece by piece, I got back in the zone. And now I got the, you know, it's like sit on the couch right here.
Yep.
And then, you know, then it's happening. You know,
Very
it is
cool.
it is pretty cool. I mean, it's not as super hi-fi as some people that I know. But it is kind of cool, you know.
But it works.
Yeah.
Gives you that feeling.
It is
you
a,
know?
it
I
is a
mean,
special thing.
Yeah,
You know?
definitely.
But I remember being old enough, like for me, when CDs came out, I was like, well, this is better. Because it kind of was in a way, as in it was more portable. There was no hiss, you know. So in our minds, we thought, well, this is better. And then it was like, great, I don't have to worry about a record player. So it was cool. But then you realize both. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like there's some things that need to be this. That's what I think.
Definitely.
Anyway,
I agree with that.
I guess that's my new thing. Both. What else? Do you practice a lot? You do, don't you?
I wish I did more. I definitely have to get more.
Because I've seen you posting stuff,
jamming some stuff,
working things out,
working it out. But I think just with these bands that I'm doing, they're way different. You know, you got the Foo Fighters, Brian Setzer, acoustic bands. It's just dynamically.
Did you ever do
different.
anything like the Brian Setzer? Like I don't. It's not swing music, but I mean that whole.
It swings, but you got to play it like a rock player.
And that's how you approach it.
Because you're competing with that guitar, the big Gretsch hollow body that's loud and in your face, and then a horn section. So.
But you can swing.
You could swing it.
But you can swing. Where did you learn to kind of swing?
I think just jazz band,
just doing
high school, you know. But I don't know. When I do a gig, I obsess about it.
Okay.
I completely go into obsession mode. And it's got to be right. It's got to be 100%. And it's just listening. You know?
So you get the essence of it.
Yeah.
From the gig.
And I'm more like about the feel. Like my goal as a drummer is if they go to see the Foo Fighters, like, wow, dynamically that felt right. The energy was there. And the same thing with the Setzer band, you know, make sure you nail the horn hits.
Yeah.
Make sure, you know, it's convincing. You
right.
know, it's not like you're guessing, like, like I know that show like the back of my head, but it took a lot of time.
Well,
I was in my basement for 6 months with that one.
Wow.
You know, like,
hey, man.
just, working it out. So,
hey, but that's cool though.
Yeah.
Because you say
because I'm not a chart guy,
right? Like you say, you're not plugging into a style. You're doing it.
I definitely don't have that ability. So I know guys that can, chart the heck out of things, and just not me.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. Hey, whatever it takes.
Yeah. Do what we got to do, and I enjoy listening. So if I join a band, I enjoy the music.
Right.
So it's going to make it fun anyways.
Yeah,
it gives me something to do.
Are there things? Well, I guess you couldn't name them, but there are things that you're just like, nah, I wouldn't be that into it.
Yeah, Bon Jovi.
Yeah, you wouldn't be in a Bon Jovi cover band. You'd just be like, I'm not going to listen to that.
Yeah, it's just not my thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I have a thing like that sometimes. If I have to learn cover tunes, I get hung up on whether I like it or not, and I'm just like, I don't want to listen to this 50 times because I don't dig it.
I did cover bands for years, Zoom, Kick, then the Zoo, and a lot. And you're gonna play your "I Want You to Want Me,"
sure.
And even though it's not, it's your Cheap Trick, but it's not my song.
Yeah.
Not my favorite. And then Jesse's Girl,
sure.
all that other. I'm like, I've done this a million times.
Yeah,
because every band does it, kind of.
But I tell you what,
you get tired of it.
Cheap Trick is my number one band, and. Wow. They're my number one. So I don't know because I've never heard you play it, but this is maybe we'll do it before we leave here. I'll show you. But I could tell immediately when I hear a cover band play that, I'll just be like, nope, because there's a thing to it that guys either get or they don't.
Oh, and I probably don't.
Yeah, maybe you don't. Yeah, but I'd just be like, no. So whenever it happens occasionally.
How about you play it the right way and then I'll.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I've had a couple of kids over the years. I have a kid I'm working with now that's learned that song, and I go, "You're the future, and we're gonna set this straight right now. It sounds like it's this, but it's actually this. So like, play it like this." And it's like, okay, all right, cool, because I can't. I'll get like, no, probably like you listen to things obsessively, and immediately. Like if you heard me play the Foo Fighters gig, you'd probably be like, nope, yeah, no.
Well, I've heard you play plenty of other stuff, and I love your playing.
Oh, thank you. Well,
awesome.
Same here.
Awesome player, man.
But thanks. Yeah.
I think the first time I saw you was in Manchester.
Oh, yeah?
At the Tiger.
Sure.
And I ran into a dude.
Who was I playing with?
Okay. No, recently, just a couple days ago, Derek Gaston.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So he was telling me the story about you with the boombox till 4 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
And, listening to music at the Tiger.
Oh, yeah.
Closing it down.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going on this podcast in a few days. I'll mention it.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. No, Derek. Yeah, Derek's a trip. And yeah, he's a great drummer, too. Wow.
Very cool.
Now you got me thinking. Oh, yeah. Derek is, do you know him?
No, I just met him.
So, you just said that.
Yeah, we just met him at the bar and we were talking drums and
we're
just going through players we know.
All right.
And I mentioned you. He said, I know Peckman, because
Well-
he knew all these. I'm like, okay.
All right. Well, you know what?
Perfect.
On the off chance, hey Derek, on the off chance
Yeah.
that he watches this, I'll tell you a Derek story. He's so funny. Yeah. So I know him from Manchester, from way back in the day, and got to know him. And I would, and he's always back in the day, the Tiger. And then when it opened up to be another room, even, you would be. Do you even remember when it was smaller?
No.
Okay. Anyway, so the Tiger, and then the bar is kind of in the other room, and he would always be at the end. And my goal was I would play there with Pivar or something, and my goal was always to try to play something just to get him to. I knew I was hitting it if he kind of craned his head to see what I was doing. So I would just keep playing. Is he looking yet? Is he looking? And finally I would hit something, and then he would peek around the corner. Okay, yeah, all right, I got you. And there was one time, I don't know why I got onto this trip. You ever do this? I was just fooling around, and I decided I wanted to have two hi-hats, but not like this because I'm lefty. I wanted one that was just closed on top of the one that was used with the foot.
Yeah.
So I could play the closed one, but still do things with my hi-hat foot.
That's pretty cool.
I never follow, but I just was like, oh, let me try this. It'd be kind of cool, So, and I just couldn't figure out how to do it. I was going to get a bracket. I just said, well, let me just get another set of hi-hats, and I'll just, the pedal or whatever. I'll just point the pedal away. And I literally had just double-decker hi-hat. Like I have my regular hi-hats and just another set that was up here with the pedal and everything, and just with the close. And he comes walking over, and he's just like, what are you doing? And I said, I'm trying. I'm trying two hi-hats. I want to see if I can. And he goes, with the pedal and everything and the stand and everything? And I go, yeah. He goes, you're shot. And that was it. That was his comment. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. It never worked out. I was going to get I was on to something, but then I just couldn't.
Like the X hat,
Or something like that, yeah. But it was kind of cool because I realized a lot of times I would be doing something with my left foot to kind of keep me in the pocket, but it would affect the open and close. And I was like, I wonder if I could just play on a close hat and still do patterns with my left foot. And then Derek made fun of me, and then it just came crashing down. I said, I can't withstand the ridicule. So that was the end of that. But yeah, that was his thing. He just, you're shot. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty much shot. So that was the end of that. Yeah, that was always my goal, to get Derek to peek around the corner. Yeah. But yeah, no, he's a cool dude for sure. I don't know, man. Like what else?
I was going to ask you, like, favorite gigs, any highlights of your career, I'm curious. We've never caught up.
Really?
So,
Well, I mean, I don't know how much you know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's so many things that were cool and fun. I mean, I used to do, just as far as craziness, I used to do this gig up in Worcester. Did you ever hear about that? The Disco Hell gig? Did you never? I used to do this gig. I don't know. It's such a long story, but that was crazy. It was like an every Sunday in Worcester at this kind of rock and roll club. And it started off as a disco cover band, and it just got so debauched and off the rails, but still maintained the disco thing. And the more that we went off the rails, the more people we drew, until it became like a gore disco show. I don't even know how to describe it, but there was like, when I think back sometimes with some of the cronies, we'll reminisce and go, did we actually, do you remember the time? And there's so many stories. That was kind of like the last hurrah for debauchery. I was like, that's a high and low point, but that's one of those things I'm like, I'm glad that kind of happened, because you don't have to wonder about, it's like, yeah, I pretty much, everything happened that you could imagine, I think, as far as, I don't even think I can talk about half the things that happened. But that
sounds like a good time.
It was it was a real good time, and doing the whole gig to a click, because there was track.
Yeah.
So and actually it was pretty cool, because it was like, all right, no matter what happened though, I was still locked. Well, half of there was anyway. There were two versions of the band, and one was no click, but the original version was like the whole gig was to a click, and it was pretty cool.
See, I actually liked that with the Zoo, because 90% of the show was click.
Yeah.
And didn't have to worry. You knew that's it,
Yeah.
But with the Setzer band, sometimes we'll play like a trio and we have to track the horns, and I'm not as much of a fan as that because I feel like we're losing out.
Oh, I
like
see.
we're losing out on the whole essence of the band.
Yeah, yeah.
And actually, the reason why I joined that band is the horn. So now we're more pushing towards making sure the larger show, they're all horns, or we're going to do like a rockabilly trio. So I was just talking to Anthony about it the other day, just making it more like, kind of rocking up the songs more.
Yeah, yeah.
Not playing it in that style that we would if we had horns.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you.
So we're going to work on that.
So almost literally more like Stray Cats.
Yeah,
kinda,
exactly. Yeah,
almost.
just there's a good record, Rockabilly Riot, from when he was live in Japan.
Okay.
And so that I watched that, I'm like, this is cool. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
I would love to do this, but we need a piano player too.
Oh, okay.
And that would be pretty badass.
I saw I wouldn't, it's not the first thing I ever saw, but I think I know for a fact it was the first time I ever went to Toads. It would have been the 80s. And I worked at a music store, and my boss took me to Toads and said he was my dad. And I went to Toads, which I had never been, and saw the Stray Cats.
That is so
And
cool.
it was like, like I just didn't, it was like, oh, MTV is here. It was crazy. And they, Stray Cats, all three of them were up front, right in a row. It was just like boom, boom, boom.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. I just was like, oh, okay. Yeah, this is insane. And it was just a Stray Cat show, just three of them. And
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, my uncle loved them as a kid. I had an uncle that was special needs, and we used to hang out a lot. And he was just, he knew everything about music. You know what I mean? Like, that's how his brain worked.
Yeah.
And he absolutely adored the Stray Cats.
Yeah.
And I wish he was still around to see me in that band because he
Yeah,
would
right,
just
right.
lose his mind.
Yeah. That's cool.
But yeah, I was going to ask you, have you played Toads?
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure a bunch of times.
Yeah, probably back in the day. Yeah. It was a thrill. I mean, I still in my mind think it's one of the most exciting places ever.
It's really cool.
Right?
That's my definitely up there with favorite venues that I've played.
Yeah, right.
It's
you
such
feel
a
like
cool,
you made it, right? In some kind of way. Yeah.
I was in college when I played there for the first time, and
with who?
The Soul Merchants.
Okay.
We were a reggae band, like a pop reggae band.
Nice.
And we opened for Toots and the Maytals.
Oh yeah.
That was a crazy gig.
Yeah, I bet.
Talk about intimidating too. I was like, come on, they're legit.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
No, it was legit.
But it was such a cool night.
Yeah, cool.
I wish I had more video pictures. I have like one picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you thought you made it.
Yeah.
Like we're at Toads. Yeah. No,
Yep.
I know that feeling for sure. Yeah. Hey, talk about Iceland.
Oh yeah. So
I'm wearing my Iceland shirt, and
So me and Chersky, we're me and Matt Chersky, we're good travel buddies.
Yeah.
We met each other at Toad's place. I believe that's kind of where we hit it off because the Fun Bags were playing.
Okay.
And I was in a band called Zoom.
Okay.
And so we kind of hit it off there, and then drum buddies. Then we became travel buddies. We kind of traveled the world together.
Hey, that's cool.
And so we went to Russia.
Wow.
We were St. Petersburg or Moscow, then St. Petersburg. Took the flight over
When
to
was that?
Iceland. That was, I think, 2016 maybe.
Oh, wow.
I'm probably wrong, and Matt has the info.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you know of Rick Steves. He's a travel documentarist. He had a Hulu show.
Okay.
Matt absolutely adored him.
Oh yeah.
And we met him on the plane.
Oh,
which
wow.
is so wild.
Hey, that's
like he was
cool.
sitting right in front of us.
So you're like, oh man,
And
we
Matt's like,
know we're
I
going
got
somewhere
video. He's
good.
like, this is Rick Steves. I'm like, So yeah, we landed in Iceland. Did some really cool adventures.
Yeah.
Regretfully, did not see the Northern Lights.
Oh, yeah.
But
they're not that easy.
We did some crazy adventures, ATV stuff, and then we took a prop plane over to Greenland.
Yeah,
which was wild.
Yeah, I can't even.
Yeah, and so you kind of you land, on the dirt runway, walk a mile into town, and it's like 50 people living there.
Yeah, right.
It's like the end of Western civilization.
That's crazy.
It's absolutely incredible. And we took like a little aluminum boat back to the airport.
Okay.
And you're just going up to these icebergs.
Yeah. That could just crush
that are
you
just
without even.
giant in this little aluminum fishing boat. And so Yeah, I got to dig up my old videos because every few years I'm like, man, I want to relive this again.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to go again.
Yeah.
I've been there twice. Went there a few years after, and then I'm gonna plan to go back there again soon.
Cool.
I think I want to hit Greenland again.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Really?
It's just
so. It's more than a curiosity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
If you go back, you should definitely take advantage of it.
Maybe.
Plane. Yeah.
Yeah. I might. Yeah, we would. I mean, I remember when we left. When we left Iceland, and we're flying, and my wife goes, "What is that?" And you look down because you realize it's not clouds, and it looked like a snowbank. And I was like, "That's Greenland." I'm like, "Whoa, that's nuts,
It's crazy."
Well, not that it mattered, but I'm just thinking to myself, we're dead. Like if this plane crashes, we're dead. I was like, the ocean is frozen.
Yeah,
you're just like, we might as well be on a different planet.
That's what it felt like.
Did it?
We were there in August, and it was snow covered. Freezing.
Yeah. Colder than Iceland.
Oh yeah. And then you walk, you're walking into town and you come across the whale carcasses, like massive whale carcasses, and it's just how they live,
Yeah.
We have it made here.
Yeah, I bet.
I
bet.
All these luxuries, and it's crazy.
So
when you're there, you think about that.
I wonder, so are there people, now you got me thinking, like, I don't want to disrespect Greenland, but why would you stay? Like you just be like the people that live there.
And the guide was a Dutch guy. I think it was just him there, or him and his wife.
Crazy.
But yeah, he was there, and he's just works as a guide, and he just loves it. I think some people love just that solitary environment.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, man, I could imagine at night, like how quiet. I would love to spend one night there.
Yeah, right.
And just,
Well, that's what I thought about Iceland. We went, to Reykjavik, and we went up north to Akureyri, however you say that. And we went out into the wilderness, and I want to go back there. Now, that was my thing. I go, like you, I want to come out here at night, because also, I guess, I imagine it's probably the same in Greenland, but in Iceland, there's no critters. There's no bears or wolves. Nothing's really going to get you. And I was like, I wonder what it would be like to kind of just be out here. And it would probably be the quietest that you could ever experience. It would never be any more quiet than that.
And what about the drinking water?
Yeah.
So good.
Crazy. Yeah.
The water is unbelievable.
Yeah. That's what I would be into. Just going, just to see like how much quiet can you get.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd be into that. Yeah. Killer. Iceland. Yeah. I still think about it. We were only there for one trip, but sometimes I'm like, I fell in love with it. It's weird.
I love traveling.
Yeah. Where next? Any plans?
No immediate plans. Maybe like next year, somewhere. I do want to hit Ireland.
Okay.
I'd love to go back to England. Me and Chersky went to London, and we drove to Bonham's grave.
Oh, wow.
Paid our respects. Got some cool video with that.
Yeah.
And then so we go, I don't know if you've been.
No.
So it's just little church in the middle of nowhere.
Really?
And there's nobody there.
Wow.
Nobody.
So just you and Bonham.
Put our sticks, down as paid respect.
Yeah, that's
and
heavy.
Then, and then we hit this pub after, and we're walking in, and I'm thinking, standard pub.
Sure.
And we're dressed like, just black shorts, T-shirt, like musicians. And we walk in, and it's like people are dressed nice, and they sit us out in the courtyard, and this guy's like, "What do you guys worship the devil?" And like this heavy English accent.
Oh yeah.
And his daughter's with him. She's like, "Don't mind my father. He's like 100. I think he was like 102, 103."
So they literally think that
marbles.
Yeah.
And she was telling us how she went to school with Jimmy Page, and it was so cool.
Wow.
Such an experience.
Yeah, that's killer.
And then we drove to Scotland.
Wow.
That night, and
that's exciting.
there, and and then drove back and went to the Manchester UK drum show. So,
wow. Adventures.
That was a trip.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Well, I would imagine, I don't want to assume, but Greenland had to be the most wild. What was the craziest place?
Yeah, Greenland definitely.
Well,
yeah.
what's next?
Well, just as far as surprises, like I mean, St. Petersburg, Russia is probably the most beautiful city I've ever been to.
Really?
Oh yeah, that and Prague, Czech Republic.
Wow.
Prague's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I love traveling. Just gives you a whole new perspective on things.
Yeah.
You know, but what about you? Any favorite?
No, I mean, I never got to travel as much as I had hoped. So
Not too late.
no, I know it's not too late. No, it's
Definitely
cool.
not.
Me and my wife are good. We like to we're good traveling together, so we could do anything and we would be fine with it. But yeah, I mean, Iceland we loved. I loved it. Jamaica was really cool, and I wouldn't say we roughed it, but like we didn't go to Sandals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We kind of got the neighborhood a little bit.
I'd rather that.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, it was
Way
great.
better.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, Jamaica was, it was really cool. That was just like, oh, okay, yeah, I can get into this because I'm a reggae freak. So it was like, oh, okay. I can't say that I understood just from being there for a week or whatever, but it was like it was interesting. Just like, oh,
That's cool.
yeah, it's crazy.
I'm all about Airbnb in the right neighborhood, like an
Right.
old neighborhood, you know, like get the real feel of where, you know, where you're going. Like resort doesn't do anything for me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Not for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we were in a, you know, I wasn't quite an Airbnb, but you know, we were in the grill. It was not a resort.
Yeah.
But you're still behind walls, but you could go out, you know, you got the neighborhood and stuff. And then we were there for a wedding. We spent the second part of the trip in Montego Bay, and it was in a resort, and it was cool because it was like, oh, I get it, you know, there's a beach, but you forgot where you were. You know, you're like, where are we?
Yeah.
Is it? And then you forget you're in Jamaica. But when we were in the grill, you knew you were in Jamaica. You could tell. So yeah, if it's a resort, you're just going for the weather.
Yeah.
You're not into the, you know what I mean? Like you could be.
And I can't sit still.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
sit on the beach, have it. I can only stay there for so long.
Right.
Where my mind, like,
Yeah,
I gotta
time to
do
rock and
something.
roll.
I gotta, you know, I gotta go explore. I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
see something new.
Yeah, yeah.
Meet the people,
Yep.
and you know, kind of learn about the culture. And
Why not?
You know, that's just how I'm wired.
Yeah, that's cool.
Some people could hang on a resort, you know,
Well,
for a week and be happy. I just can't.
no,
You know,
yeah, I'm the same way.
not
I
for
can
me.
unplug only for so long, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what's going on? yeah, killer.
Definitely.
All right, well, you know what? I don't want to run out of time, so let's get to. You might have answered some of these, but they're just the wrap up questions in case, you know.
Yeah.
Desert Island albums, a few.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Actually, you know what? Because
Oh boy,
yeah,
Prepared.
I have to be prepared.
yeah,
'cause
that's fine.
Tell you what, it's, you know, this is difficult because I like so many. It'd have to be Genesis, Duke.
Nice,
You know, it's
sure.
Genesis, and we didn't
Phil
even talk about
Collins.
Genesis. I can't believe we didn't. But you know, that's probably my favorite band.
Oh,
as
nice.
far as, you know, and I like the Phil Collins era.
Yeah, yeah.
Versus the Gabriel.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
popular with my friends, but
Hey, man.
it's, you know,
Whatever.
it's where I go.
Yeah, I used to be able to play Three Sides Live, the whole album, top to bottom. I learned that in the basement.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
killer.
and I recently went to that tour, the last, you know,
Nice.
in Boston, and
Yeah.
you know, it was tough to see him like that, but the son kicked ass.
Yeah, right?
Did great on the drums.
Yeah,
And,
I love Phil. Phil's
yeah,
playing.
he's amazing,
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
agreed.
You know what? I'm gonna break out some local bands
Okay,
here.
hey, man.
Mighty Purple live from Toads.
Hey, you know Steve.
Holy-
Steve was here.
Yeah,
yeah,
yep.
Great.
Yeah, good dude.
Yeah.
And I cannot express how many times I've listened to that record.
Oh, really?
And when I remember, you know, because I used to play up at Husky Blues in
Yeah.
college, in my
Yeah.
college band,
Yeah.
and I'd watch them, and Dave Keith was playing. I'm like, that dude's going places.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just from how he, like the parts he played, the writing.
Yeah,
I
no,
just
he's-
knew something was special about that dude.
Mhm.
And I'm like, he's going places.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah, and he
you know,
did.
yeah.
he is.
yeah, totally.
Yeah, for sure. no doubt.
Another one, Deep in a Blackout.
Oh, yeah.
The live album.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, Calb, amazing.
Yeah,
you know,
Calb's great.
Got to take a lesson with him a while, like years ago.
Another lefty.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, so you
And
don't
that
even
was
have to
fun,
switch
you know,
anything.
Went to his place in Brooklyn and
Yeah,
made me
he's
play
great.
James Brown, and
Yeah.
then I joined a metal band.
Yeah, well, hey, man. every little bit. I
Yeah.
actually had this. I love when this happens. So I love Calb's playing.
Oh, I do. Me too. Man.
Yeah, and I was somewhere, and I Shazam something. I was like, "What is this?" You know, it was like it's this kind of pizza place in West Hartford. I go sometimes, and they're cool. You know, they have their music on. I'm like, wow, this is really funky. I wonder what this is. And I Shazammed it. And it was a blackout thing that I didn't know. And I'm like, oh, of course, that figures. But like, when you don't know, but you know, because I was like, man, this drum was great. And I'm like, yeah, it's Calb. You already know that, but you don't. I love when that catches you by surprise. But yeah,
he's nasty.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I loved Banana Blackout. Did you know? So I played with all of them, and then the band broke up.
What?
You ever? I hope this isn't. Well, it might be true, but that's fine. You ever been in this situation where? So they were a band called Tongue and Groove before they were Blackout.
Yeah.
Okay, and Calb was in, and then he left, and I was in the band, and it was Jen and Ben Carr and Andrew, and it was all those cats were in the band. And I joined. Calb wasn't the drummer, but I replaced Mark Greenberg. I got in the mix, and I think I was the right player, but personality. But they did the thing where they broke the band up and then reformed without me. And I was like, damn. And so I was like, oh, that's too bad, man, because I really like those guys. That was a great band. And then like a year later, Calb came back on the scene, and they were Banana Blackout.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, okay. It didn't bother me because I didn't know Calb, but I kept hearing about him. And then when I heard, I was like, yeah, okay, sure. Obviously he was an old crony of theirs, so I was like, yeah, well, he's the dude for the gig. And they became Deep Banana Blackout, and I missed it. They couldn't have done that with me, which was fine. I now realize once Calb gets in, it made it all make a little more sense. So I was like, okay, but yeah, that's
a cool story though.
Yeah, it was funny.
Damn.
Yeah, and they were great. I mean, it was great playing with Ben. It was like, it was cool. I learned a lot, from playing with them in that period.
That's so cool. Yeah, I used to see them at Husky Blues all the time.
Yeah.
Up at UConn,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, great band.
And I still make an effort to go out for Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah,
if I'm not playing a
they're
gig,
truly
I'm there,
Yeah, no, they're
it's a good
truly
time.
truly great band. Yeah,
So cool.
Desert Island Food.
Oh, food.
Fermented shark,
God.
Icelandic.
Oh, horrible.
I didn't.
Did you
have
try
it?
it?
No.
Chersky did, of course, because he,
sure.
eats anything. He'll try anything once,
Really?
And I'm like,
well, that's
when
anything.
I smelled it. I was like, oh God.
No.
Food, definitely pizza.
Yeah,
Gotta go with that.
Yeah.
I love tandoori chicken. A nice ramen.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're into ramen.
Not particularly.
No.
But,
Yeah.
Bizarre.
But what about you?
I don't know. Mexican, any all day, every day.
Yeah.
Anything.
Some guacamole.
Yeah. Anything.
A good
like
guacamole. I make a pretty good guacamole.
Do you?
Yeah.
Hey, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
My girlfriend does too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome cook.
Hey, that's
Awesome
cool.
cook, yeah.
That's nice.
Definitely.
That's always nice.
That
to have.
pays.
Yeah. Anything? I guess we covered it. Like anything coming up that you want to plug again?
Just the Foo Fighters gig, definitely. The weekend, the Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
A tribute to Foo Fighters. You could find us.
Yeah.
Just www.
Yeah,
tribute
cool.
to Foo Fighters.
You know what we should do? This might be a good idea to throw this out there because maybe someone will actually pressure us to do this. But you would be a guy for this. Thinking like doing a different format show and just have like a drummer roundtable because we could just we'll get Chersky and you
That
and
would
me.
be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool. And then we'll just talk drums.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. So all right,
we need to do some digging into that.
Yeah, do something like that. It would be a different show. Yeah, because we didn't talk about drums enough, and that would be a good excuse to just get into it.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I could talk about that all day too.
Yeah. And hopefully Chersky will be into that. We can get that happening. Yeah, that would be.
That's awesome.
All right, you know what? We're gonna do that one of these days. A different show. I don't know if we're gonna call it the John Peckman podcast. We're gonna have a different format one of these days because that would be killer. All right, I'm going to press the button. Are you cool? You got anything you want to add?
No, it was great to be here, man. I really appreciate you having me.
Yeah, I'm glad. No, because I never know who's aware of the show.
And we just so random. We ran into each other,
And I'm like, good, let's do it.
And you're telling me the Taylor story.
Yeah. Which I don't know if I can tell. Yeah, I think I did at some point. Anyway, cool. All right, Paul Pedro. Awesome. Nice to see you. I'm glad you came.
You too, man.
Yeah, killer. Yeah, we'll do this again.
Definitely.
We're going to do it again. Different format, possibly someday. You heard it here first, maybe. John Peckman Podcast, Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Come over the bridge, go through one set of lights, pull a Yui, unless you're Paul and you're coming from, you don't have to come over the bridge. But anyway, like and subscribe, hit the bell, have your own podcast here in our beautiful studio. Dave will tell you how. Drive safe, be careful. That is all.
If you'd like to start your own podcast, give us a call at Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Our professionally designed podcast space is here for all your recording needs. Rent out our studio to do interviews with up to 4 people, to record audiobooks, social media content, and all other recorded material. Our rentals include a private studio along with our professional-grade podcasting equipment, and we can customize your output to whatever your needs are. We also have green screen capabilities, which will expand to video capability if you so wish. So check us out here at convalley.net/podcast.